Okay, please start by going to Google Classroom, going to assignment 1.1, going down to the Zentangle JPEG. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to right-click on the image and go to Save Image As. I would save it to your desktop. It's going to make life easier. Hit Save. I'm not going to try to open it from here. It's probably not going to work well. I'm now going to close down that window, and then I'm going to find my image on my desktop. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to Open With, and I'm going to open it with Photoshop. Once it's open in Photoshop, it should look something like this. Today we're going to be using selection tools, and ultimately we're going to be taking your own Zentangle and doing it digitally. So the selection tools. They're basically the three top tools: the marquee tool here, the magic wand here, and the lasso tool here. Please go up and click on the marquee tool. If you click on the marquee tool, you'll notice that this bar comes along the top. What the bar does is it tells you what you can do with that tool. So if I click on the wand tool, I can do these things. If I click on the lasso tool, I can do these things. And each tool is better at selecting different things. So if I start with the marquee tool, I'm going to go down to the little tiny triangle in the corner, and I'm going to click on it. The little tiny triangle brings up options, and this brings up rectangular, elliptical, and single row, which I honestly have no idea what I would use that for. So I'm going to go to the elliptical marquee tool, and all I want you to do is try to go over one of the circles and just make a circle. It's going to select that circle, and then I'm going to hit B for brush. I'm going to make sure I have black selected, or something that's not white, and I'm just going to go over the top of it. Okay, so I've made that circle. I'm then going to hit Control D to deselect. I can now hit M for marquee, and I'm just going to go over and I'm going to choose to do this little circle here. B for brush, go over the top. So that's great for making large circles, but what about this circle here? I would have to erase part of the circle to make it work, which certainly would be a possibility, but the circular marquee tool isn't necessarily useful there. Also, you can see that the rectangular marquee tool makes rectangles, but it's not I can't turn this rectangle. Okay, I can only move it around. So I really can't select anything using the rectangular marquee tool. So I'm going to get rid of that. Control D to deselect. The tool that I'm interested in today is mostly going to be the magic wand tool. And if I click on the magic wand tool in the little corner, it has object selection tool, which, like, say you had a car. It'll try to figure out where that car is, but we're not going to use that much. I have the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. I'm going to grab the magic wand tool, and I'm just going to click to the outside edge. It's going to select everything there, but notice it doesn't select anything on the inside. Please hit B for brush, and I'm just going to color that in with black. Control D for deselect. I'll finish that up. Okay, now I can select things on the inside, but that can be a little bit of problematic. So I'm going to hit W for wand. I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to turn this all white. So I'm going to use the little arrows here to turn it to white. I'm going to hit B for brush. And you'll notice it's filling that part white. Let me use a color because it'll make it a little bit easier for you to see. So that was sort of reasonably good at getting that particular space. But notice it didn't get the space in the left and the right. So I'm going to hit Control D, and then I'm going to hit Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, so that I'm back where I started. I'm going to hit W for wand again, And I'm going to take a look up at the top. So this tells you, like, how you can use the tool. So, for instance, if I have the first rectangle selected, it's just going to select that one thing. So I can now take the outside edge, and I'll hit B for brush, and I'm just going to turn that red. Deselect. Okay. Now if I hit W for wand again, and I go to the second tool, if I hold there, I can select a bunch of different spaces and be more specific. Alright, so what I want you to do is go through and select all of your white spaces. A lot of clicking, right? Okay. I'm not going to select the inside circles of these pieces because that would just take way too long. Then I'm going to hit B for brush, and I'm going to make sure I have white selected. I'm just going to go in and color that white. Great. Okay, so that's one way of selecting all the white, and I missed one part. So I go back to wand, select, B for brush. Missed a couple of parts, by the way. Let me just get all of those. And there we go. Okay, so from here, one of the great things is I want everything else to be black. So I'm going to go up to select, inverse. Now it's going to select everything that's not white. Got to switch to black. And then Control D to deselect. Okay, so that worked, but notice how everything's kind of fuzzy, it's not really clean. It just doesn't look like a clean drawing. So I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to go back to where I was. I'm also going to hit Control D. Alright, so play with those a little bit, select different things, fill different things in, and when you're ready you can come on back. I'll show you kind of the easiest way to select a single value. So if you remember, this was pretty much like white. Now if I want to select everything that's white, I'm going to go to Select, Color Range. And I'm just going to click on the white. It just selected everything that was white, or white-ish. Let's see how much it selected though. It's great for selecting a single color, but notice how it selected some things that were kind of in the gray category. So again, it works, but you've got to really have those things separated well. I'm going to go backwards again, and Control D for deselect. So other things for selecting. You can select a subject, so like a car. A specific area. You can select skies. It can recognize skies. I really personally wouldn't worry about that one. So, the thing is how do we get this thing completely black and white and look clean? That's the tough part. Okay, so, what I want you to do for the rest of the period is I want you to go onto the web, and I'm just going to pull up something, and I'm going to find a picture. I'll do Phineas and Ferb. And I'm going to go to Images. Let's go with, just going to go with this one. Nope, I'm going to go with something that I can actually copy and paste. Let's try this one. Right click, save image as, now save it to desktop. I'm going to go to the desktop, right click, open with. I'm going to open up another image. If this happens to pop up, just hit return. You don't want to deal with that screen. And I have Phineas and Ferb up. Now what I want you to do is use the various selection tools to select something and change its color. Try to use the shortcuts, because W for wand, okay, B for brush, okay, or I could go and I could hit select color range. I'm going to select just the wood. Let's try that. Too much. So I could go back and change that. I want you to completely recolor Phineas and Ferb by doing, or sorry, your own image by doing different selections, and it could be whatever image you'd like.